and behavior and how to access all the power that the Lord has given you. It's a lesson that the Lord calls me to do out there called Power of the Saints. And they're just showing you all the different power that the Lord gives his saints, the people that serve him, right? But this is a lesson showing you how do you access that power, right? So, and we find that main power of the Lord and his servants is to choose life and live. So in this lesson, we're going to show you how to do just that. How do you choose life and live, and what are the mechanisms that you need to sustain this? And if they could turn some of the heat down, the air up or something, so I won't sweat up here, because I preach a sweat, and y'all will see me sitting straight up here. Just, you see this? It's starting already, right? And I ain't even got going yet, and I'm already sweating. So if they could do something, that would be great. But we're going to start this lesson right at the beginning. So I want to start right out at Genesis, and we're going to start right at the beginning and see how this thing works, right? And see how the Lord weighs in on these things. Let's start Genesis 4:1. Genesis 4:1. And we got a lot of ground to cover, so I'm going to be moving, but I'll make sure I try to keep it as entertaining as possible. Right? So let's start Genesis 4:1. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Genesis 4:1. Go ahead.
And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
So now check this out. So they're setting the story up right away. Well, they're showing you the difference in the offerings, and that should give you inkling right away what these things, what this is about. One is serving with all his heart, and one is just doing something. One is serving the Lord in spirit and truth, serving him in his mind, and one is just doing something he's been told to do, right? So it's showing you he brought in his offering. So if you look in deeds, they were doing the same deed, right? But one is saying he brought the firstlings and the fat thereof. So just pay attention. Keep going.
Verse 5. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
So right away the Lord, like a parent, slips in. So he noticed Cain has not done anything yet, right? But right away, and the Lord is looking in his mind and seeing how that mind is changing, because this is how you serve him in spirit, right? So he's saying, but unto Cain he didn't have respect to his offering. He said, why are you wroth? Why is your countenance falling? Why are you behaving like this? What's going on? And go on, let him finish what he said.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
He said, if you do well, if you do this thing well from beginning to end, hey, you will be accepted. I'll accept you. But if you do not well, sin is lying at the door. It is waiting on you. But he said, and thou shalt be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You could have been, the Lord created us to have dominion. You know what dominion is? To dominate.
Right.
Dominion means to dominate. So you should be dominating over that. But you can't, because he's going to rule over you because you are not doing well. Keep going.
Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So
everybody always takes this and starts talking about, am I my brother's keeper? But this is just a statement that Cain was getting smart with the Lord, right? Am I his keeper? Do I supposed to know where every place he is, right? That's something you will say back trying to throw a shot. But he says, hey, you remember he said, if you do us not well, sin lies at the door, right? It was before the sin kicked in. But now sin's not lying at the door. You have committed it now. What was waiting on you is now here. That's why I'm here to ask you this question, right? I'm here to ask you this question. Where's your brother, right? Keep going.
And he said, What hast thou done? the voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
Now you see the curse? This is what happens to us as humans. You didn't do well, so now the Lord is saying, all the work you're going to put in, you ain't getting out what you could get out. This is why we have to change this mind. Because we want what we put in, we want to yield much fruit, right? But what he put in, you know, that strength you was getting when you planted that little seed and you got the big old crops, that's not coming no more, right? That's done. Keep going.
13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Now, when I first read this in my fleshly mind, you know what I said? So what? You did it.
Right.
You slayed your brother. So what if somebody slay you? You know what we all thinking? He got what he deserved, right? That's where our mind goes. Because we all, the way the story is narrated, we feel for Abel. We feel for him like, man, he didn't do nothing, yet he got slain, and you did it. So if you become a fugitive and a vagabond and somebody kill you, so what, right? But check out what God says. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him.
He stopped the bleeding. He stopped the bloodshed. Because he said, even though you have killed, I'm going to have patience with your mercy on you. Hey, I don't want nobody just killing you, because now it's just going to keep on going. It's never going to stop, right? Because this killing has set in. And if I let it loose, man will just kill all. So he had to put him on. You know what? Can't nobody kill him. I just read that like think, why would the Lord? So what? That's his punishment. But the Lord, like he said, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So let's keep going. Let's go to Numbers 12 and check it out. Because the Lord had patience and mercy. Let's see what he expects of us. Numbers 12:1.
You feel that?
Numbers 12:1.
No, I'm good.
12:1. Y'all there? You ready? Go ahead.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman.
That tripped me out how they say that twice. They had to make sure you knew. Now
down.
you know who he married. It was that Ethiopian woman, right? So they gave them rights to do what they had to do. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And they said, had the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Oh, wasn't Moses the leader though? But he was meek above all men on the face of the earth, right? So that's showing you something. So you see, now we saw how the Lord did it, who gives us the ultimate example, but we know we human. So let's put it in human form, right? So now he's talking with his elder brother and sister. Now, they all in their 80s.
Right.
So I don't know how this conversation is going, right? You know, they all kicking in their 80s. They say, hey, Moses, he done married that Ethiopian woman. And you know he ain't got no business doing that, right? And they probably think since Moses meek, he probably ain't going to say nothing. And he didn't have to. Keep going.
Verse 4. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam. Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out.
Now imagine them all three like little kids, but they're in their 80s. The Lord, all three of y'all, get out here, right? Like a parent does. So we watching this parent his children again, right? All three of y'all, get on out here. Let me set it straight. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house.
So he said, hey, I want y'all to understand something. All y'all hear this. You know this guy Moses you talking about, right? You know how you might say, you see him who you talking about? You know this guy Moses right here? You talking about all the rest of the prophets. I've all talked to them in a vision or a dream, but not my servant Moses, who is faithful in all his house. If anybody going to do some checking on him, you let me do it. Right? Keep going.
Verse 8. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches, and the similitude of the Lord shall he behold.
So if I had a problem with it and I speak to him mouth to mouth, I could have dealt with it. I didn't need you. Right? Because a lot of us think God need us to go check somebody. You need to be worried about checking you. So I'm going to go tell him what he's supposed to be doing for, get your actions together first. Right? So Moses, he telling them, hey, if there was a problem, I'd have dealt with this. Right? Keep going.
Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses?
You should have been afraid. You know the Lord speak to him face to face. Why didn't you consider that? I know he's your younger brother. Maybe you thinking like you used to do when you know that you could do to a younger brother. But this is not that guy. Right? I speak to him face to face. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous.
So the anger of the Lord was kindled against them for what they did, for just speaking against his servant. So be careful about speaking about servants of God. People think that that's just the teachers or Brother Bowie. No, it's servants of God. He said, my servant Moses. You see what I'm saying? But we quick to speak against servants of God. I'm always letting people know, hey, be careful that this person may be serving God wholeheartedly. You just disagree with them. It's okay to have a disagreement, but you ain't got to bash the person because you disagree. I can disagree with this brother all day long. It's a disagreement. That don't mean I got to say, man, he's such and so-and-so. That Vernon, he don't know how to blah, blah, blah. Talking about what he do in his household and everything. He's saying, hey, this my servant, and it said the anger of the Lord was kindled. You will get the anger of the Lord kindled against you for the same reason. But we here to cover something, the patience of the saints. These are just tidbits. Let's skip down to 13. Go ahead.
And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying,
he did what?
Moses cried unto the Lord.
Cried unto the Lord and did what?
Saying, heal her now, O God, I beseech thee.
Oh, the same person that was talking bad about him, that said he married that Ethiopian woman, right? That person, the Lord said, heal her now, Lord. I beseech you. I'm really asking you. That's patience. That's mercy. I'm not worried that, yeah, she talked about me, but even though she my physical sister, either way it go, she is my sister. That's how we really, we see a lot of us have watered down the name sister and brother. We just say it. Oh, that's my sister, that's my brother. Well, if it really is, treat it like it really would be your sister or brother. And you would pray for her to be healed than to pray for her to be damaged. You see what I'm saying? Let's uncover what it really takes to have the patience of the saints. Let's go to Leviticus 24.
Yes, sir.
Leviticus 24, we're going to start at verse 10. Because sometimes as servants of God, when things do happen to us, we're unsure what to do. Right? You just don't know. Something came up. We don't know exactly how to handle it. How do we handle it if we're going to be servants of God and have the patience of the saints and have this type of way of thinking? Because this is what it entails. That's why he wrote the book. So you can develop a way of thinking. Right? Words change minds.
Yes, sir.
Right? That's why Jesus called the Word of God. He's the spokesman. I'm here to change the way you've been thinking. This is a change management process. I had you under one management. Now you got to come under this new management. Right? You've been under this fleshly management. Now we got to change it up. Let's go to Leviticus 24 and 10 and let's see how to handle things. Right? Because sometimes we don't know. We get stuck in a situation and we don't know what to do. Let's see what we should do. Leviticus 24 and 10. Go ahead.
And the son of an Israelitish woman, whose father was an Egyptian, went out among the children of Israel. And this son of the Israelitish woman and a man of Israel strolled together in the camp. And the Israelitish woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord and cursed. And they brought him unto Moses, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Dibri of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in ward, that the mind of the Lord might be showed.
So why they put him in ward?
That the mind of the Lord would be shown.
See,
to him.
us, the way we operate as Israelites, we'd have just bashed him from the jump.
Right.
But he had to wait on the mind of the Lord to figure out what to do. Right. So sometimes these things come upon you and you're not sure. You better pause and wait on the mind of the Lord to find out what you should do. Because I'm sure you guys come across things when you don't know what to do.
Right.
Because you man.
Right.
Right? Keep going. What happened?
13. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Bring forth him that hath cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and let all the congregation stone him. And
So now you see even the meekest man of the land had to take part in this stoning, but it was after he had to wait on the mind of the Lord. It's not for us to jump too quick and just do something. So all these things you got to see, it took patience, because some of us, I'm sure in that crowd, ready to jump. No, let's put him in ward and wait and find out what we should do. That's what we all got to take a lesson in. Let's sometimes press pause before we jump up and just do something. But let's find out what to do, because sometimes you want to jump up and do, and your mind not aligned with the word of God. Right? So let's see how we handle that. Let's go to Numbers 20. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Numbers 20 and 2. See, we got to remember, we all got to be following God's plan. So it takes patience waiting on so he could deliver to you what his plan is. So what are you doing? You looking at your desires, it may or may not be aligned with God's plan. So we got to check this out, right?
Yes, sir.
Numbers 20 and 2. See, I told y'all I cover a lot of ground, but I move pretty fast. I won't have you here all day. 20 and 2. Go ahead.
And there was no water for the congregation. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people trode with Moses and spake, saying, Would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. And why have you brought up the congregation of the Lord into the wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have you made us to come up out of Egypt, to bring us into this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or of vines, or of pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink.
So check this out. So now what's happening is just like I explained before in the lesson, where you, just like if you walking with you on the car on a road trip with your family, and everybody murmuring to you, when we gonna get there? What's this? When we gonna get something to eat? What? So everybody murmuring against Moses. But everybody know Moses didn't bring them out there.
Right.
They knew who really parted that sea, right? Who did all this. But the trick was Moses, the meekest man in the land.
Right.
He's easy to murmur against. I dare not say you going to say something against God.
Right.
So the easy way was, let's keep on hammering Moses, right? Why did you do this? It ain't no vine. Like Moses control the ground.
Right.
It ain't no vine, can't nothing grow. You can't plant no seed. We in the desert, right? Keep going.
6. And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes. And it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So shalt thou give the congregation and their beasts drink.
All right. So we heard the commandment, right? For Moses to speak to the rock. Now, it was a time before where the Lord told Moses to hit the rock, right? So Moses, when you getting all this all the time, he is really getting angry with Israel. He goes to the Lord, asks like he normally do. Looks like he has a common practice, right? His common practice, I'm going to go to the Lord, ask what I should do. So when he gets what to do, the Lord is telling him, speak to the rock, go ahead and give him water. But you see how the Lord having patience with them? Even though they had angered the Lord. The Lord's anger was kindled against Israel. It wasn't against Moses. So even though they chatted with Moses, the Lord's anger is kindled against Israel. But what is he doing as a father anyway? Speak to the rock and give my kids some water, even though they acting crazy.
Right.
Right? Even though they acting a plum fool, speak to the rock, Moses. Don't go out there acting crazy, and give them some water so they could feed their cattle and their kids and be quiet. right? Keep going. That's the patience of the Lord, right?
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 9. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them.
So hold on. He takes this rock from before the Lord. So I'm going to take this same rock. The Lord say, hey, this rock right here, I want you to speak to it, right? So he took the rock from before the Lord, got the congregation all around, right? And what happens?
Hear now, ye rebels, must we fetch ye water out of this
Where
rock?
that come from? But that's the meekest man in the land. But it can happen to all of us. Remember, I mentioned what happens when your desires are not aligned with the Lord. It usually happens at high issues of stress or love or any kind of high emotion. Your actions go awry with the way where the Lord's wants you to go. You saw he had a direct commandment, but because of this high-stressed environment, hey, you rebels. Right? The Lord didn't speak nothing about that, right? Even though the Lord was angry with him, that ain't had nothing to do with him.
Right.
Go ahead.
11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice.
Where that come from? Now he done hit the rock twice. Twice? Right? The first time should have rang a bell like, wait a minute. But he hit it again, right? Okay, go ahead.
And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also.
I'm sorry for being tedious, but I want to keep pointing things out. You notice that the Lord didn't not do the water, and then call Moses over and say, didn't I tell you? He didn't do none of that. He still let Moses show that he still was the captain, and the water still came out. That's the patience of the Lord, what he's trying to teach us. Hey, I still took care of it. I'll take care of this other stuff on the other side of the fence, right? What verse are we?
12.
We at 12?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them.
Oh, look what he said to Moses. Because, see, we always think about him not getting into the land, but look what he said. Because you believed me not. You didn't believe me, Moses. You wasn't listening. You know how? I know you didn't believe me because you didn't do what I said.
Right.
That shows belief. I show my faith by my works.
Right.
That shows belief. So think about that when you are just, in a crossroads and deciding, hey, should I do this or should I do that? Sit back and believe the Lord. I know all of us come through crossroads. Some of us think we got to do something outside the word of God just to get what we want.
Right.
Right? Or you could be a sister thinking, well, I got to go ahead and sleep with the guy before we get married unless he won't marry me. You ain't got to do that because he's saying, hey, but you got to believe me. You believe all that I say.
Right.
So he's saying, hey, because you believe me not, here's the consequences. Because when you don't believe him, there are consequences. So it is times when we come across this, right? That verse 12?
Yes, sir.
Let's keep going. Let's show you. Let's go Matthew 26. We got to learn how do we handle our emotions when we aren't in agreement with the Lord's desires? What should Moses have done? What should you have done? What should you do when you got to handle a situation that it may not be in line with the way the Lord lined it up? How do you handle it? Because we all come across this. What should I do? Am I wrong? Or sometimes we try to fool ourselves to make it what we're doing sound right. Ain't none of us exempt. Not even me. Right?
Yes, sir.
Matthew 26. Matthew 26. Let's look at what we should do. 26 and 38. Telling you, I say it all the time. You say it for years. This is a thinking man's game. And I mean just that includes woman. We know that here. But this is a thinking man's game. The person that thinks is the one that's going to win. That's who the Lord looking for. He gave you this big brain with all this frontal lobe and all this stuff, more than he gave the animals, so you can think. You don't act off instinct. Animals act off instinct. So when you act off instinct, you are becoming the opposite of what he set you up to be. He set you up to be God, but you acted like something less than you, like an animal. Think about it. That's why he gave us this ability to think. Let's use it. Matthew 26 and 38. Let's show you someone that used it. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Then saith he unto them, My soul is exceeding sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me.
So now I'm in a stressful situation, just like Moses was, right? It's a high stress situation. And he said, my soul is sorrowful, even unto death. This is what Jesus said, because it's time to die, right? Keep going.
And he went a little farther and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt.
So his desires was against the plan of God, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That his desire, if there's some kind of way I can get out of this. But soon as that desire came, what did he do? Not my will, but thy will be done.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. When your desires start to conflict with what thus said the Lord, don't try to work your way into thinking of a way that is going to try to make it comply with the Lord. No, not my will, Father, but thy will be done. Keep going.
40. And he cometh unto the disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, What? Could ye not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
So he giving you the keys right there. He said, hey, you couldn't watch. And he said, hey, watch with me 1 hour. Watch and pray, because this spirit is willing. You might even have the mindset to go with the Lord, but this flesh is weak. That other type mindset will kick in. That law, sin, and death that you grew up with will kick in. Right? And he said, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. You got to keep watching and praying in order to keep this mindset, to have this patience of the saint.
Right.
You got to keep this up, and you got to cast it down every time it come up and say, hey, not my will, but thy will be done. Keep going. Where are we?
42.
Go ahead.
He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me except I drink it, thy will be done.
You see that? So he said, hey, if it ain't no way out of it, I got to do it, thy will be done. This is what we have to do. Let's check it out again. Let's go to Numbers 22. Because see, he said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Let's look at it. Numbers 22 and 4. Numbers 22 and 4. And we look at these stories in the Bible and the people in there, and we objectify them in a way. We kind of, that was that. Yeah, you remember that story about so-and-so, how he did that, right? Because it's just, we didn't see it. Right. We didn't experience it. So it's kind of like, yeah, how that person did something. And not thinking that you're going through this day to day. So we kind of like, yeah, he did this and made this mistake and blah, blah, blah. But you got to think these were whole humans making these type of decisions, right. The same decisions you're faced with, and they're written for your example, because you're going to come across it. And you might not pass every time. That's the thing. See, you got to look at it, and don't be overconfident and think that you're going to pass every time. Be aware that you might not. That's going to make you aware of what to do. That, hey, I got to be watching and praying all the time before something sneak up on me. 22 and 4. You ready?
Yes, sir.
22 and 4. Go ahead.
And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time. He sent messengers, therefore, unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me.
They always think this about us. We were in Egypt. They were saying the same thing. We're going to overrun them. We coming in the wilderness. He worried about us overrunning them. We come out of Louisiana. They worried about calling us refugees, right? Worried about us overrunning them. Every time they see a mob of us, they're going to overrun us, right? Okay, so now Moab is scared. These people come, they're going to overrun us, right? They're coming out of everywhere. Right. Okay, keep going.
Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I would not that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed.
Now check this out. This is Balaam, right? This is not an Israelite. Okay, but he been blessing people and I guess cursing people. And he said, Moab said, hey, we know that who you bless is blessed and who you curse is cursed, right? Because this before Israel became a full-blown set-up nation in their own land, right? So this guy must have been serving the Lord, right? Keep going.
And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. And he said unto them, Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam.
As the who shall speak unto him?
As the Lord.
The Lord. So this guy would commune with the Lord, right? And he say, hey, he say, lodge with me this night, and they got him all this stuff of divination and all. He said, hey, man, lodge with me tonight. I'm going to go to the Lord. Whatever he shall speak, that's what I'm going to say, right? Keep going.
9. And God came unto Balaam and said, What men are these with thee?
Who came to Balaam?
God.
God spoke with Balaam and said, so all these guys are thinking, oh, man, you got only Israel getting saved. This guy had a shot. The Lord spoke with him and actually said, man, who these men with you? What's up? What's going on? Right? And go ahead. What did he say?
And Balaam said unto God, Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, hath sent unto me, saying, Behold, there is a people come out of Egypt, which covereth the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them. Peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. And God said unto Balaam, Thou shalt not go with them. Thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed.
So the Lord let him know, hey, no, don't do it. These my people.
Right.
That's my crew right there. Right? Don't curse them. They blessed. Keep on going, right? Go ahead.
And Balak rose up in the morning and said unto the princes of Balak, Get you into your land, for the Lord refuseth to give me leave to go with you.
So he said, get you in, I can't even go with you, right? Let's skip down to verse 16. Go ahead.
And they came to Balaam and said to him, Thus saith Balak the son of Zippor, Let nothing, I pray thee, hinder thee from coming unto me. For I will promote thee unto very great honor, and I will do whatsoever thou sayest unto me. Come therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people.
Uh-oh, I can give you a promotion. See, this when things start to change. Like I remember seeing on that Jerry Maguire when the father, that quarterback guy said, hey, my word is strong as oak. I would have said, yeah, until somebody with some pine tree or whatever come up, whatever tree they making money out of, that's going to change that oak. It could be a little flimsy tree they making money out of that changed that oak tree, didn't it? Right? He said, hey, when that promotion came, different thoughts started happening, right? Go ahead.
And Balaam answered and said unto the servants of Balak, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the word of the Lord my God, to do less or more.
Now he said, the Lord my God, right? And he said, I can't, you could give me his house full of silver and gold, and I can't go beyond the word of the Lord my God, less or more. And he should have stuck right there. That's exactly what we need to be. That's the patience of the saint. When the temptation comes, you patient. Hey, I can't go beyond the word of my Lord my God, less or more.
Right.
I can't do nothing else, right? Keep going.
Now therefore I pray you, tarry ye also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will say unto me more. And God came unto Balaam at night and said unto him, If the men come to call thee, rise up and go with them. But yet the word which I shall say unto thee, that shalt thou do. And Balaam rose up in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. And God's anger was kindled because he went. And the angel of the Lord stood in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding upon his ass, and his 2 servants were with him.
Wait, check it out. You would think, why was the Lord anger kindled when he told him to go? Because he had already told him not to do it, right? So now you get in this world, you thinking it's tug of war. He telling me to go. Yeah, because he know what you after now, right? You heard promotion, now you coming back to do something against when I already told you the children were blessed. Right? Don't curse them. But now that you hear promotion or you hear some good thing coming your way, see, the thing that Balaam didn't think about, remember, evidently he was communing with God quite a bit. That was the power. What is the promotion going to do?
Right.
If everybody you curse is cursed and everybody you bless is blessed, what is the promotion?
Right.
What actually is that? Some more what? Everybody you curse is cursed and everybody you bless is blessed. Evidently, you communing with the Lord, you got more power than anything he could be giving you. But yet, we always fall for that okie doke. We always fall for the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Right? You want to know that good juicy stuff. Or you want to get that good, all the good gold and silver. Remember, he had just said out of his mouth, he could give me his house full of gold and silver, and I still can't go past the word of the Lord, less or more, and then turn around and did exact opposite. Keep going. So we look at this and saying, look at him, but that's us. Pay attention, because this is you. We do it all the time. We'll go seek out the Lord about something, see what the answer is, go back, all because you don't like the answer. Right? And try to come back again because you still want that good stuff. When the Lord got something already better for you, you already blessed. Why you need that?
Right.
So he went back, and let's see what happened. Keep going.
23. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And the ass turned aside out of the way and went into the field. And Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way.
All right, so now he smites his ass because, hey, the ass decided, hey, he see that angel, but Balaam can't see it, right? Let's go to 28. Go ahead.
And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done unto thee, that thou smitest me these 3 times? And Balaam said unto the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would there were a sword in mine hand, for now would I kill thee.
Look where his mind is gone. Think about it. He's not even thinking, I'm talking to my donkey. Right? That should have been like, whoa, I'm out. Let's do whatever. He's talking to me, right? Because I bet you if he'd have brought that donkey, I bring Bernie, hey man, my donkey talking, that donkey would have said, you don't like that
wouldn't have said nothing.
Wouldn't have said nothing, right? But he should have been amazed right there. But he straight up tell the donkey, I wish I had a sword so I could kill you. I should have, if he was really on his money, since the promotion, he should have said, I need to come to show you some people get money, right? But he talking about killing them, right? Go ahead.
30. And the ass said unto Balaam, Am not I thine ass upon which thou hast ridden ever since I was thine unto this day? Was I ever wont to do so unto thee? And he said, Nay. Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand. And he bowed down his head and fell flat on his face.
Man, he had to feel some kind of way. His ass was saving his life, right? But now the Lord let him see. When the Lord opened those eyes and let you see what was really going on, that's how we know in this world, that was the thing. Why were you so hung up on a promotion that you would go back and seek the Lord and you could see what power you really had? That you were commanding things to happen and you worried about a promotion? This is us. Yeah. Keep going.
And the angel of the Lord said unto him, Wherefore hast thou smitten thine ass these 3 times? Behold, I went out to withstand thee, because thy way is perverse before me. And the ass saw me and turned from me these 3 times. Unless she had turned from me, surely now also I had slain thee and saved her alive.
Wow. And see what the Lord had for him? Hey, because the angel speaking by the mouth of the Lord. Right? He ain't doing nothing but what he commanded. And the Lord was set to kill him. So be careful when you don't have that patience and not wait on the Lord when you decide to do something that you want to do and then try to use the Lord as your way to do it. We do that a lot. Oh, yeah, the Lord wanted me to do. We wanted you to do some evil? That's just right? Let's go to 1 Samuel 13. And check it out some more. We good for that. Hey, yeah, the Lord wanted me to do that, man. It was the Lord that did that. Really? You know, how you know? Did he come tell you? That's why I say, hey, that's why this manuscript is written. It's got all the stuff in it. All you got to do is read it and pay attention to it. You got to have that patience and wait on the Lord, and he'll show you his mind. If you worried about it, read and ask him in prayer. Go and pray, and then get up and start reading. He might show you exactly what you needed to see to get you the answer that you need. The patience of the saint. This is how you access the power. You see why he had the power, and then he lacked the patience, and what happened? He was doing all that commanding. Who he was blessed, who he was cursed was cursed. He had the the power, lacked the patience, right? And lost the power. 1 Samuel 13. Ready?
Yes, sir.
1. Go ahead. 13 and 1, and we're going to skip.
Saul reigned 1 year, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel.
So Saul was reigning 2 years at this time. So this is quick in his career, right? His career was short at this time. And let's see what happened. Let's skip to verse 4. Go ahead.
And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten a garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also had an abomination with the Philistines. And the people were called together after Saul to Gilgal. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Bethaven.
So I don't know if y'all watch or been in war or anything like that, but when they set up camp against you, it's quite amazing, right? It's scary. And how many people? You talking 30,000 and 6,000 horsemen? So they were ready to go, right? And so Saul's sitting there and looking at, hey, the Philistines gathered, and they hate us because he said that we were held in abomination to them. So that means the Philistines couldn't stand Israel at this time, right? So you see how they gonna fight in this war, right? So he's telling them, hey, they had 30,000 and they were by the seashore. They were pitched in Michmash and ready to fight, right? Let's go verse 6. Go ahead.
When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed.
Here we go again. We're in that stress situation, right? The people were distressed. What happened?
Then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in high places and in pits.
Now that's got to be tough for Saul right there. You getting yourself ready to war and all your people starting to hide. Right, they in thickets, they done see these 30,000, they backing up. Next thing you know, you sitting there by yourself with your sword. Let's check it out, keep going. But who you supposed to have with you, right? Right? He don't supposed to, like you say, yeah, I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil, because God is with me. Right? He's supposed to say, I'm the majority. I don't care where y'all run. But keep going.
And
patience. Go ahead.
And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling.
Man, everybody that's with you trembling, everybody walking with you like this. With that sword, that's got to be tough.
Yeah.
So think about him and his situation. There's more stressed they are, the more stress they add to him. Keep going.
And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. And Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him.
So wait a minute now. So Samuel had a set time to come and be there for 7 days, right? So I can imagine Saul with his sundial or something saying, 7 days and 1 second. These people running. Give me that ass. Give me that calf so we can sacrifice it, right? And now, and you know how when you do something, as soon as you get done doing what you're doing wrong, here he comes. Now Samuel show up, right? And Saul is a trip. He trips me out every time he does stuff. Hey, Samuel, what's up, man? What's up? What's going on? Right? Now he know what's up, but let's check him out. Keep going.
Verse 11. And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering.
Now let's check Saul out. I love his stories, man. You can tell this is well thought when he's doing this, right? So he said, he threw the shot at Samuel real easy, real subtle, right? He said, because thou camest not within the days appointed, right? You know this your fault. That's essentially what he's saying. You didn't come because you didn't come during the time you said. That's what made me decide to go ahead and force myself. See, I had to force myself to do this sacrifice. But see, he knew that he shouldn't have done it. He didn't have the patience to wait on. He should have, no matter what, even if he had died, he could have said, hey, I died right. I waited on the Lord and did exactly the way the Lord. If Samuel didn't come, that would have been on Samuel. right? But he said, hey, I forced myself to do the burnt offering, but you know you're not supposed to do that. Remember, this only like 2 years or so in his reign. He done started out like this. Keep going, verse 12.
13.
I'm sorry, 13.
And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever.
You see, you lost. The same way how Balaam lost. You had power. You could have been king over Israel forever. However, what you've done is you decided not to wait on the Lord and go forward with your own agenda because you were afraid.
Right.
That fear kicked in and you made a decision. Don't make decisions this way. Always consider, stay put and don't have any fear, and go with the Lord and do it the way he says it, regardless of the way the situation may look. Because you don't know if that angel is waiting there to cut somebody else's head off for you.
Right.
That angel was sitting there waiting. Balaam couldn't see it, right? You don't know what the Lord got waiting out there. But you need to stand and have the patience and say, hey, I'm going to do what's right. And if he had done that, he'd have been king over Israel forever. But because he didn't and couldn't wait on Samuel, he lost it. Where are we? Did we read 14? Go ahead, 14.
14. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord hath sought him a man after his own heart. And the Lord hath commanded him to be captain over his people, because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee.
Because you have not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. Saul never repented for what he did. He always tried to make an excuse for what he did. He said, hey, but you didn't keep that which the Lord commanded you. So he done found him somebody else, right? So let's check it out. Let's go to 1 Samuel, where are we? 1 Samuel 13.
4.
Let's go to 1 Samuel 4. That the Lord done picked him somebody else out, right? But see, Samuel had seen this before. He had seen what it's like when someone that's in a high position does not do exactly what the Lord commanded, right? So he recognized it right away. So let's look at it. Let's see what Samuel had seen, right? And saw what went on in the previous high priest rulership. 1 Samuel 4:1. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle, and pitched beside Ebenezer, and the Philistines pitched in Aphek. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel, and when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men.
So now we know why Saul was so afraid. He had seen what it's like what the Philistines could do to Israel. So when he couldn't sacrifice, he saw all his men getting afraid. This is why he's getting afraid, because this has happened, right? Keep going.
And when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies.
So they saying, hey, we know why we getting smitten. We didn't bring the Lord with us with this ark of the covenant. So we know why this is not working for us. We got to bring the ark of the covenant with us so it could just help us, right? Because they figure if I bring the ark of the covenant, we bringing the Lord. But let's keep looking. Remember, we got to have the patience of the saints. Let's go. Go ahead.
So the people sent to Shiloh that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again.
So they said, yes, the ark of the covenant is with us. And the two sons of the high priest just brought it, right? These righteous men just brought the ark of the covenant with us. And they shouted with a great shout. They excited. Let's keep going, though. Go ahead.
And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, what meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God has come into the camp.
So they knew. They knew how it worked. When they bring the Lord with them, ain't no beating them. Right? They knew they'd been whooping their butts all the time. Now they went and brought the Lord to represent them. They done brought their daddy along, and the fight is over. Right? So the Philistines getting scared. They done brought the ark of the covenant. Hey, man, we not beating them now.
Right.
Keep going, though.
And they said, woe unto us, for there hath not been such a thing heretofore. Woe unto us! Who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness.
So the Lord had got his name known, didn't he? Just like he wanted. He said, I want to get me honor upon Pharaoh. Right? So his name was known in the streets. Right? So it was like, hey, this that God that beat up the Egyptians. And we ain't seen gods that do stuff like that no more. So, we ain't going against them, right? Let's keep going.
Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight.
So somebody said, look, man, if you want to be a servant, if you going to mess around, you're going to be a servant to these Hebrews, you better get yourself up and fight, right? Saying that to the Egyptians. Keep going.
And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten. Every man fled, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen.
What happened? What happened? He said, Philistines fought and Israel was smitten. Keep going.
And the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain.
Oh, and so the ark of God was taken when they got smitten, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. Let's skip down to verse 18. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate.
So this is Eli, Hophni and Phinehas' daddy. Right? So when the word came back that his two sons who brought the Ark of the Covenant, because when they came, you know they came strong, boy. Ark of the Covenant here, we finna come wreck shop, right? So when they heard that when he went back, the word got back to the father, Eli, he was a real fat dude, right? And he got back to him and said, hey, your two sons are dead. This would happen. Go back again at 18.
And it came to pass, when he made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years.
So he died, right? And he was an old, heavy old man. He fell back, boom, that neck was gone. It wasn't handling all that weight, right? Let's go, verse 19. Go ahead.
And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the women that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard.
So his wife and his daughter, his wife and his son's wife, his father and his son's wife died. Phinehas' father, Eli. So Eli and his daughter-in-law died once they heard that Hophni and Phinehas is dead. But what happened? Why did that happen? Let's check it out. Let's go to 1 Samuel 2 and 12. Instead of me just telling, let's let the Bible go ahead and tell you. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 12. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial, and they knew not the Lord.
Whoa. The sons of Eli, we talking about Hophni and Phinehas, right? They were sons of Belial, right? And they knew not the Lord. So how somebody that knows not the Lord gonna bring the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord?
Right.
That's what happened, right? Keep going.
And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servants came while the flesh was in seething, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither.
So they had a custom that, hey, when they did the sacrifice, they would seethe it in water, and then the priest would come with a flesh hook. And what all the priest got, he could take, and nobody worried about that, right? That was the way they did it, right? Keep going.
Also, before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, Let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would answer him, Nay, but thou shalt give it to me now, and if not, I will take it by force.
Whoa, this the priest, without patience, right? I want it raw, and because there was a part of the sacrifice they supposed to burn the fat. But the priest saying, forget burning the fat, forget what the Lord told you to do. I want to take it raw, and I want it right now, right? I don't have to have the patience of the Lord. I'm running this, right? Keep going. Where are we?
17.
Go ahead.
Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord.
So now you see what that did? Now the people abhorred the offering of the Lord. Nobody wanted to do, you know how Abel brought up his first and his best? They caused the men not to want to bring up their best. Why would I want to bring up my best and this is what you're doing with it? That's what a human's going to say in their mind, even though they should do it anyway because it ain't got nothing to do with them. But look at what was happening because of it, right? Let's skip down to verse 22. Go ahead.
Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
They did what?
Lay with the women.
Lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle. And these are the guys bringing the Ark of the Covenant up to the battle? So how can the Lord be with you when you're doing evil and you want to go to the Lord about something? Right. See, that's not patience of a saint. Because the patience of a saint is going to stand in awe and sin not. Commune with his own heart upon his bed and be still. Right? But when you rushing, you trying to think of the Ark of the Covenant as some magic power.
Right.
As opposed to thinking that the power is of the Lord and it goes with the commandments. But we're going to bring up the Ark of the Covenant and expect to win a battle just because it's the Ark of the Covenant. Right. It doesn't work like that. So that's what happened. And this is what I'm cautioning you against, to think, ooh, I'm just going to pray to the Lord and ask him to give me this. You ain't done nothing he said. Right. It won't work. The power is in him and the way he has it set up. You do these commandments and I'll be there for you. I'll be your reward. You won't have to worry about nothing like he did for Moses. What did Moses say to Aaron and Miriam? Nothing. The Lord jumped right in there. Wasn't you afraid to speak to my servant Moses? Right? That's what he'll do for you as long as you with him. As long as you ride with him. But let's continue. Where are we, Vern?
Skip down to 27.
Skip to 27. Go ahead.
And there came a man of God unto Eli and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, did I plainly appear unto the house of thy father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon mine altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give unto the house of thy father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice and at mine offering, which I have commanded in my habitation, and honorest thy sons above me?
Oh, that's what happened. That's why his sons didn't stop. Because Eli honored his sons above the Lord. That's something for us to think about. When you having patience of the saint, that means you still have to have patience and discipline your children, even though you might have some type of feeling, man, they not going to love me no more. They really, really want this. But you got to get under your body, bring that in subjection, and do what you're supposed to do. And handle it the way the Lord would handle it. I'm not saying just go and just start going upside your children's head for the sake of doing it. Right? Even though some of us might feel, some of children out here might need that. But I'm not condoning that. All I'm saying is, as you see the evil that is being conducted, that you could stand in the place and correct it. This is what Eli did not do. And look at how many Israelites died because of it.
Right.
All those men died in that war because he wouldn't correct these sons. If he had corrected those sons or either shut them down, maybe somebody righteous would have brought up the Ark of the Covenant and the Lord would have been with them. Right? So let's keep going. Let's go.
To make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of Israel, my people.
So the Lord is coming to correct Eli like he always does, like he did with Abel, like he did with Moses. He coming straight in, like he did with Cain. He coming straight in and said, hey, why didn't you correct thy sons? When you decided not to correct them, you chose them over me. When you are a saint and you got patience of the Lord, how are you choosing someone else over him? How are you choosing? You choose to do what somebody else wants you to do over what the Lord wants you to do. We do it all the time. Something real simple. I say it all the time. You might be among people and you getting some food and you afraid to pray over your food. Or you a sister, you afraid to cover your head and pray over your food because you're worried about people that you're never going to see ever again in your life.